Hello everyone, this is Ninja GC, joining again for another React video, this time from MLP Season 9, Episode 18. The end is around. The end is around, almost, unless you're Dutch, the end is already here.
According to the Dutch, the end is already here.
There are two things I can't stand. People who spoiled the last season of My Little Pony, and the Dutch.
Yeah, true.
Alright, first up though, Alex.
Hello, you ponies. I'm a herd of bronies. Welcome back to Let's Watch MLP's final season.
Alright, next up, Carlos.
Well, this is Gunalligator here telling you all to relax, enjoy the summer sun, for it won't last much longer. Summer sun setback has shown us to all that fall has begun and school is back in session.
Ew.
Well, on the bright side with the fall, it's actually starting to get cool again, so yay!
Ew.
Yay! Autumn leaves!
Ew. No more pool weather.
Well, there's always
And
indoor
I'm just
pool
happy
weather.
we're done with all of that heat.
I like the heat.
I want pool weather.
Yes.
Alright, and next up, second and day lover.
Hello.
If you want to play, come out on second day. You can have fun, you can have it your way. Come out on the second day.
Okay, we haven't been practicing this.
No, I just made it up.
Yeah. I noticed. I was just like, what's going on? That was funny.
Why, thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is your second opinion, and from a critic first and a fan second. The season continues. Will an episode finally break my streak?
And day lover, hope you're all having fun.
Alright, and next up, Jen.
Hello, everyone. This is Jen holding up the sign that says "The end is nay."
And the end is nay.
Yep. Somebody
The
draw
end
that,
is nay,
please.
It's the second day. The end is coming.
And bearing witness to one of Second's other greatest introductions ever.
Greatest hits, get them on
Get 'em on
iTunes.
Once Second makes an intro, it's eternally his. Call now and order all 19 for just $19.99.99.
There's more. Call now and you'll receive a free thing of cupcakes for free. Wait a minute, back up. Wait a minute, back up. Back up. Let's do this again. Wait a minute, back up. Let's do this again. Call now. You'll receive a plate of raised cozy glow for free.
Ooh, yeah.
Look at
Raised cupcakes. That sounds nice.
Anyway, let's watch the brand new episode of the final season.
Okay.
Yay.
Alright, is everyone ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright. Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Here we go.
And it's loading. There we
Oh,
go.
wait, pause.
Wait.
I stopped at 4 seconds.
Alright, now just go back to 0, 0.
We got it. Okay, we're back at the beginning now.
Alright.
Everyone at 0, 0.
No, ready, don't approve it. It begins on a snake. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, you're back to 0, 0 though, Jen?
Yes.
I am.
Alright,
Snake. Snake is coming.
No!
Alright. Everyone press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Yay.
Hey.
Cartoon.
Keep cartoon. And Snake in 2 seconds.
Sneaky.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my god. Actually having a play.
Go in here.
It's the giraffe.
You read the non-conscious giraffe.
Antoine.
That giraffe has special eyes. It must mean something.
Angel.
What's
I
Snake
knew.
still doing?
Oh.
I knew that bunny is
Getting
evil.
good.
furry support group. This is such an awkward conversation.
Oh, that breath.
No.
Oh, we're gonna finally resolve Angel Bunny.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We're finally setting him up to pasture for rabbit season.
Duck season.
Rabbit season.
Duck season.
Rabbit season. Oh. Gross.
I knew that Angel Bunny's evil.
Well,
I knew he's evil.
Well,
he's asking for it. Nobody would stand
Oh,
up for
no.
him now. I don't know what he...
Wow. This is not good for like predator and prey relations. Oh.
I think it already
Okay,
went
we're
wrong,
having
Sakura.
Sakura here.
It's already gone wrong.
Okay,
Yes.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Alright.
So
And
the predators
I almost
are
thought we
not
would have a
allowed to
Discord
eat
camera
prey no
just for
more.
the chaos.
Well, I mean, they kind of have to, so... And it's implied that they do, and that's what's hilarious about the intro there, even though... I mean, I've seen that kind of joke before, but still, like... Does it bother you when what's-his-name tries to eat you?
What kind of question is that?
Maybe just a little bit, yeah.
All right, who came up with the
Like,
idea?
all
Like,
animals are sentient here. This is flirting with a dark place.
Maybe it's okay if they just take a nibble.
no.
Like the Simpsons version of Adam and Eve.
It's like, oh man.
Oh, lizard. Oh,
Salamander?
Actual salamander.
Okay, well, yeah, being willing to go there with the prey, that's a very fun thing.
Aww. Cute lizard. Oh my god.
Shadowing.
Angel has been the fast king since the introduction of the series.
Yeah.
How can I help
Take
you?
Angel for some time.
Help me help you.
He's evil. He's not Cozy Glow evil yet.
Best friends.
Yeah, right.
This is getting an uncomfortable
Those eyes.
connotation. Oh,
that's his problem.
Yeah, she doesn't have
I think
time
they're not
for him
acknowledging
anymore.
Angel's contribution. I think this is it. He's trying.
And also, it looks like she haven't been sleeping that much.
Yeah, either that or her name is just messed up after the big fight. But still, yeah. Oh. Oh, come on.
Oh, she just wanted he just wanted to be petted.
What?
Give a snake a cookie.
Snake? No! What? It would die in real life if you did that.
If you give a snake a
Snakes
cookie,
don't
you
do
want
this,
a mouse to
people.
go with it.
Don't do this, people. It's wrong.
Don't you dare try to eat that baby elephant.
You have to give the snake
Don't trust
like
that
credit for
snake.
ambition.
I don't trust that snake. Don't trust that snake.
Don't trust
Hey.
that Angel Bunny.
The wing has fingers. The wing was functioning like fingers.
Wait, is she gonna speak?
Snake, he'll want a mouse to go with it.
But it turns out it's just a mute giraffe all along.
Now don't add it to your.
Wow.
It practically is a zoo.
Frazzled Shy.
Angrily leaving.
Yeah. Oh, you don't know what it. You don't know.
Okay. Terrible.
I really want to have like a evil off between Angel Bunny and
To read that comment on DeviantArt, the contest to be the biggest jerk. It's the finale.
Yeah, Angel Bunny isn't evil. He's just a dick.
no, it's like between Angel Bunny. Gosh, what's her name?
Cozy Glow.
Yeah, Cozy Glow and evil off between Angel and Cozy Glow. I would pay to see that contest.
Contest
Sure, why
to
not?
be the biggest jerk. He decided the final should be Trixie versus Angel.
You can find like animal friends instead.
Finally,
For once, he's acting reasonable.
Huh.
A magical
I'm not drinking
hijinks
that.
solution.
It's gag. Don't drink it.
Oh,
I
no,
don't
it
trust
is
that
Jack.
green glow.
It is Jack.
Last thing that color was Rarity's corrupted horn.
Yeah, it's going to make you glow in the dark. Don't fall for it.
Oh.
What was the
My
chorus
Geiger
final
counter
word?
is off the charts.
Take it together when we get home.
Oh.
Yay!
All right.
I'm
Yeah, it's been ages.
guessing the potion does nothing and it's the psychological benefit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Fluttershy kind of like sabotage herself there.
Oh.
Really?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
It's a body switch.
We're hearing him talk.
Yay.
It's a body switch episode.
It took them 9 seasons, but they finally did the body switching episode.
Wow.
I really did not see that coming.
No, me neither.
Ditto.
I already knew about it, but yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's true.
Liberation.
Okay, well this is actually a little bit of a different thing.
Oh my God.
Oh.
How is he able to speak so clearly?
I think since he was the most personality of all the pets, kind of gave him an advantage in the talking faculties.
Uh-oh.
Yes, it is.
Ooh.
Oh no, the stare! I forgot. Double stare.
Guys,
Bunny stare.
I paused.
Alright, where did you pause at?
11:26.
Alright,
11.
everyone go to 11:20.
11:20.
Yeah, I seen you left the chat. I was like, alright. If you drop again or something like that, just keep it playing if you can, and when you hop back in. Alright. But everyone back at 11:20?
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright. Press play in 3, 2, 1, play.
Okay.
Yay.
Alright.
The stare.
Gosh, it's been so long since we've seen that.
Well, Angel Fluttershy is right. It was so long.
Nothing
He's like,
else
you still do that?
is good for really caring about what he's writing, liking to.
But shouldn't this
Please
be
and
the
dig
episode you shouldn't be forcing people to do your bidding?
I love how Andrea made her sound more masculine.
Yes.
Oh my god, the animals are probably like have no idea what's going on. It's pissy.
Thumbs up. What?
I talk to animals and I want to marry Discord. He's got it down.
And I want to be a tree. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that's true.
Want to be a tree?
Uh-oh.
Revenge. Revenge of the rabbit. Oh my god, Spike is gonna have a field day with this. Oh.
Draw the letters in the dirt.
Oh, yeah.
Spell it out for them.
Yeah.
Oh. And now for the show.
Oh, no.
Even though we can't actually show it because we can't show English letters.
Wow. Wow. You horrible little bunny.
Uh-oh.
Ah.
Wow.
Oh, my God. That poor baby elephant.
Poor baby elephant.
Animal neglected.
Oh, yeah.
Why, he's coughing up a hairball or something. Oh, no. No.
Oh, God.
No.
Oh, no.
No, he's going to go after the elephant. Ew. Wait, no, he's going to go after the gecko. The lizard, something. Oh,
You have to admit that is an ambitious snake.
Yes.
Oh, God, no.
He's gonna become the movie Anaconda in a minute.
If something dies because of this, it is on Zakora.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe Angel too, but yeah.
Mostly Sakura, yeah.
Wow.
But then we will have a real life death in the show. Maybe we need that. Oh.
Underground play relationships were being explored in this episode.
It's in the background.
Like, understand me. I think it's Gator's family.
Something is really loud in the background.
Yeah. Aw.
Oh no!
Oh, I get it. Antoine the Python. Not amused. Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh
they're
God, the
going
baby elephant. Oh God.
I have
to
left
eat each other. We have a problem.
Huh.
Mary. No.
Oh my god.
No. Oh God.
Oh, the core.
Ooh,
Oh,
fire start out.
fire lizard.
Did I though?
Oh,
Uh,
so,
Wow.
aw.
Oh, I know.
Baby
God.
elephant has them. You moron.
Oh my god, I don't even want to see. This is
Ew.
this is going to be going into war territory now. Why? Yeah, the likable one.
Yeah.
The wolf is having a really bad time.
Man, Angel's really getting through a redemption story this episode.
I don't know about that.
I mean, more of like,
All right, now he's
middling-
making a start-ish.
Poor
Oh
snake.
god. Oh my god.
Ew.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh. Hey.
that was my lunch.
What a perfect
Wow.
shot.
Ugh. Oh,
Poor
God.
baby elephant.
Jeez, I don't know how long it could survive in there.
I don't know. But it is an elephant, so it takes a long time to devour that, I guess. So the carrot extract is only for emergencies.
It's the best, still doesn't know.
Miracle cure?
Wow. Season 1 reference.
Aww.
Wow.
There we go.
Wow.
She's like, whoa! What is in that carrot extract? And I bet he's like, crap, I'm a bunny again.
Mhm.
Oh, no.
What a work.
Aw.
Aww. This is adorable.
Ooh.
Really?
A salamander.
Well, she already knew that, right? Maybe.
The cure.
Oh my gosh.
You
Wow.
probably do.
Okay. Now the question is, who to use the potions on next?
Oh no.
This makes you realize there should have been more Zecora episodes, probably. At least if they were as inspired as this.
That was good, yeah.
Oh my god. Wow.
It's the first go.
That was okay. Oh, okay. I gotta say my 2 cents, and then I gotta run. This was uncomfortable. Okay, this was quite uncomfortable, and I only say that only because of the snake eating the baby elephant. I'm
You
currently.
don't like snakes?
I hate them. I hate them. I think every one of them should be turned into some sort of accessory or eaten by a mongoose or something. I hate them.
They're actually pretty soft when you touch them.
Instruments of death, no-legged spawns of Satan.
Oh my god, you're having it like I have it with wapses.
She
With
means
wasps?
wasps.
Wasps, yeah.
Oh, I hate wasps. Oh, I hate wasps too. I hate wasps too. I hate them.
But I would rather hold a snake than be near a wasp.
No thanks. No thanks. I'd rather eat crow than either one. Ugh. But overall, this was uncomfortable. This is the most uncomfortable body swap episode in my life I've ever witnessed. But the premise of it was really interesting because of a pony like switching with a bunny and then seeing what life is like from their perspectives. And it was the usual body switch mechanics of it, a little bit of something different with it, and a great. And although show, if you're trying to make us believe that an angel bunny is not a jerk, you're gonna have to sell. We're gonna have to sell a little. You're gonna do a little bit more selling on that. I don't really want to call it. I don't want to call it an angel bunny redemption thing, but however, it did show. I do think this was much needed for. This was kind of much needed for Angel because there were some liable concerns with Angel. Honestly, I mean, it was the only one he was feeling unheard, and I guess when you're unheard, you kind of act out in a little bit in order to get that attention and such. So it was like it was interesting, like relationship dynamics and body and in a body switch episode. So that part I can appreciate. I just didn't like the snake eating the elephant. And that's all my 2 cents. And now I think I'm going to bang my head against the wall just before I do what I need to do, so I don't have any nightmares tonight.
Okay.
So with that, I must bid
Celestial speed.
And Luna greetings.
Luna
All right,
greetings.
see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so I'm asking who's going to be the next takers for the body swap potion, because seriously, come on, I mean, I know the show's ending and stuff, but who would you?
All right, I just want to ask,
That's
has the show done the concept of like, oh, you think my life is bad? Why don't you try walking in my shoes? Has it done that before?
Season 7, Royal Problem.
Yeah.
Well,
right.
So what episode was that? Like a
Royal Problem?
Season 7.
Celestia and Luna trade jobs.
Oh yeah, that one. And it's sort of
So they've done that before, but
I think this one's better, honestly, of the two.
yeah.
Agree to disagree.
I don't know. I found Royal Problem like real ham-fisted, so I think that's that points in this one's corner at least.
I feel why this might work better is a Royal Problem was a more serious episode. This episode's more comedic in sort of tone. And like the sort of like idea of like switching jobs and like all that shenanigans, it just fits better this kind of episode. Instead of like if that makes sense.
And it's like that whole switching jobs. That's only like a little part of it. That there's only one part that the thing of body switching actually solves. It's like a lot more to that. Like Angel trying to talk to the other animals. Trying to like get his voice out, I guess.
Yeah. Which it also sort of makes sense. It seems like another thing one other thing this episode seems to establish is that Angel Bunny doesn't just speak with Fluttershy and like as the only pony he can speak to. It looks like he really can't speak to other animals too well either.
Oh yeah.
So it's just very general like motions and stuff like that.
Because I guess I mean like when they say Fluttershy is the only one who can understand Angel, they literally mean she's the only one who can understand Angel.
Maybe he's a mute bunny.
Or if like animals, well, if this is like all dogs go to heaven logic, there's like if only ponies can usually understand ponies, that would kind of apply to all other animals as well.
But like the other animals understand each other though.
So do they? Have we seen that?
It seems like they do.
Yeah, it was in the round circle thing they did. Like they could generally understand.
Fluttershy doing the cross communication. She was asking each one of them individual questions.
Oh, that's true.
I think the one thing honestly break this episode is if Angel learned how to write. They couldn't show that because they can't show English letters in the cartoon. Because that would break having it appear in different languages.
Maybe like have they done that at all before? Just like any word appearing on like
I think it's all been just scribbles,
pictures, scrolls with.
There's been a few. Yeah, there's a few times they use English letters and all that, but it's like they generally try to use German. It's like I think earlier on they used occasionally let English slip in more, but other times it really is supposed to be more like scribble gibberish, just so it is like you were saying, like in more international available. It also doesn't break like some people says it breaks immersion if it's like English and like fantasy world and all that, but I feel like it is.
Because like in the lore, it's not supposed to be English; it's supposed to be Ponish.
Ponish.
Yeah, they have used English before, but I think they generally only restrict it to signs, which like clearly need to like literally like a shop sign. It's sort of like okay, you sort of need to understand what gibberish doesn't work in that case, but
it could be really interesting if he actually was a mute bunny and it was sign language that he was doing.
My guess is
nobody else understands him like that.
I mean, that would be going out on almost like a twofold limb, though.
I don't know.
I mean, my guess anyway is that it's all dogs go to heaven logic, that bunnies communicate with bunnies and ponies with ponies and things with things, just it's their own kind. Although, or that's how it works with all non-verbal animals, and all the ones that have whatever it is that allows you to talk is that kind of magical creature, I guess. That's all the.
Or maybe like domesticated animals doesn't understand like wild animals. Huh.
Well, although we've seen that sheep can talk and they're domesticated.
Cows.
That's a cartoon that's not supposed to make perfect sense.
No. Yeah.
But
maybe some animals are just more magical than others.
But if like Angel communicating with other animals I mean, there are definitely some animals that are nonverbal in the show, and if an angel not being able to talk to those is supposed to be a thing, then yeah, my best guess is that it's all dogs go to heaven logic.
Yeah.
We haven't seen talking cows or sheep since season 1, have we?
No.
I think the cow showed up
Yeah, the cow
a couple
maybe.
of times.
They like that's like a background character sort of the cows, but it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things where
You've
it's
seen
like
talking buffalo.
yeah. I think it's the cow.
Yeah.
The cows are one of those things they sort of regret. It's like, oh yeah, we introduced this, but it doesn't really fit. It's like sort of with the giraffe thing. Where it's like if they kept other species animals, a giraffe really sort of would fit under that. But it's like, it's like the uncanny valley of like ponies in this fact is like, okay, what's sentient and what's not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
even the animals that like this episode sort of established, like even if the animals aren't necessarily sentient in the same level as like a pony, all of them are still extremely smarter than regular animals in our world.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, definitely. And they don't like seem to eat and do the same as our animals in this world do.
My reasoning for that is that all the animals came, like all life came from the Everfree Forest, and that, and the way and how magical that is, kind of affected them to be smarter.
Oh, maybe Angel didn't come from the Everfree Forest then. Maybe he was born in Ponyville.
I'm talking like ancient times, like everything started from the Everfree Forest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I'm wondering if we're gonna get some fans like saying that the show has. Oh yeah, you see they walked some of that back as they should to keep the animals.
Stand up for people with disabilities.
No, I mean like walk them back as in like they tighten. Somebody's gonna track how they tried to tighten up which animals can talk and which ones can't or such and such. I mean, I'm not too tied up in that. I don't like when relatively useless internal consistency takes precedence over creativity and a willingness for something to have fun with itself and like free itself up to do something unique and entertaining and all of that. So, I mean, I guess it's ultimately not my biggest concern.
I guess, like for like this episode, one interesting tidbit I found about like the spell was just the whole thing about the spell just being like fixed into like the creature's soul, and it was just switching the entire body around. Like, what was that animation all about? Like, that was like a unique way of showing like body swapping.
What was it?
I was saying like it was switching up like their entire bodies like to be like in the same position.
Yeah, it's swapping. Yeah, I felt that was like a nice visual nod, like the body swap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too.
Instead of like you see like their spirits thrusting out of their body and going into the other.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
I was just really happy that the animal in the cage was not a female bunny, and we would have a jealousy episode again. So thank you for that.
Jealousy episode. Oh my god.
Yeah, although come to think of it, like Zecora bringing the salamander from Fahrenheit 451, is that like? I guess the main point was that. Well, I mean, like they gave it something that it could cause a little bit of trouble with, so that it could feature. But I mean, I think I guess the main point of it was just to get Zecora in on the plot. Also, Jenn says it's Fluttershy's version of Zootopia, and don't trust Antoine the Python.
Yeah, Antoine the Python.
Oh my god, it rhymes. I just realized that.
Yeah, it's Zecora. In our world.
Antoine the Python.
So, yeah. I kind of like how for like season 9 they were like, you know what? We're not going to be like walking around this system anymore. So let's talk about animals eating other animals for food.
That actually reminds me of this episode falls into the category of other episodes for this season that feels season 9 like they're like, okay, we've not hit this trope yet. We're going to do that in a fun way. There's a lot of episodes that I've been doing that.
I'm so glad they are though.
the funny thing is, like, most carnivores in this world can eat, roots, berries, and stuff like that. So I don't know
Yeah, I
if
think.
they can do that too.
Well, I have to say, like, someone, because I've read some of the reactions. This is the one episode I actually did preview a lot of stuff on, because it's a Fluttershy episode for me. But one thing that some people are, some arguments people are bringing up is like two different arguments. One, these are not animals like in our world. They're smarter and also more diet flexible.
Yeah.
It's not like, so like her trying to get them to switch off of like
No,
predator
but
like meat animals.
I'm just
Uh,
saying, like, for example, wolves in our world, if they're really, really hungry, they can eat berries or roots and stuff like that.
oh yeah, they can eat some, but it's not true for all predator
No,
animals.
yeah,
Like I
that's
think
true.
cats. But still, that's the argument people brought up, and they're saying, but that's for our world. The animals are more flexible in this one. Um, and then the other argument is like Fluttershy's big thing in this episode was pushing for them to not predators not to attack prey within the sanctuary sort of thing. Was like the sort of medium ground. So like that makes more sense in her like okay, let's reform all predators sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's
Animals of
essentially
fun.
That would be a crazy plot. Like, predators, be ashamed of the fact that you eat meat. Be ashamed. Takes a look at Beast, starts to be like, this is getting uncomfortable in real ways very fast.
But Fluttershy, how do I get my vitamin B12?
Yeah, that's true.
You get it through the
You
natural
go
means.
outside the sanctuary.
And no, you take it like you get it with a pill or like in your food.
Right.
I think they'll just go by I think they'll just go by Zootopia logic and like a lot of animal logic where fish just don't count.
Yes.
Yes. Fish or birds don't count.
Eat more chicken, because they seem to be the ones that aren't quite so higher level in this world.
Yeah, or fish.
Or that, yeah. Just don't catch a sea pony.
It actually on the internet it says like cats can go diet on a vegetable diet, but it's not healthy for the cat.
Mm.
So I don't know if it's possible or not. But I just know, like, for example, the wolf can eat the berries and roots, and like, what about like if they ate what's that, insects? That would also be a
The lines
Beetles are apparently a better source of protein than chicken, so
I don't know.
Or most meats.
Like in that world, they could probably make any kind of insects into whatever they want. Make a chicken and insect.
Well, I mean, the fact that they're even like playing with the silliness of this, and doesn't it make you feel bad when Antoine tries to eat you? Yeah. That's the big signifier that you're not supposed to take it that seriously.
Yeah, and also in the start, like, do you think like it's up to you? No, what is Fluttershy saying? Is it okay for you to eat whatever you want? And I was just nodding my head, being like, yeah, I'm going to eat whatever I want. Because I'm not a vegetarian. But yeah, I guess like that's also a good question, actually.
So how about the quality of this episode?
I think it was okay. I just like.
I think this was a simple, good episode.
Yeah, I think it was a good episode.
Yeah.
It was a fun episode. Like that's.
I mean, honestly, it's my favorite one in a while. I think it holds together a lot better than a lot of them. Like, it accomplishes most of what it sets out to do, and it has fun with itself the whole way. I mean, like, it works as a character bit on Fluttershy, and especially on Angel Bunny, and it's, I mean, like I said, it's pretty funny. It doesn't, fall into autopilot with its jokes or with its, what have you. Even the, well, I guess you could argue it does a little of the formula of this plot, the whole, like, they understand each other and they switch back, but I mean, you can tell that, like, it was, excited to do something within that, in this case to explore Angel Bunny as a pony who can now talk to us and give us a better glimpse at
that was interesting to
thinks.
see how he was thinking.
That's one thing I meant to bring up is like, yeah, you have to give props to Andrea Libman.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, where like it's like one of the toughest things for like there's two of the toughest things for an actor to do is to pull off. One is pulling off doing good acting for bad acting, where you're like acting like a bad actor, like that's really hard. The other thing is playing a character that's not themselves at the moment, sort of thing. Like that's gonna be really hard because you have to portray someone else pretending to be the character, sort of thing. And like she does that, I feel, extremely well with like the Angel, because you really fully get like, okay, this is someone else in Fluttershy right now, and also you get more of Angel's personality, which is sort of a teenager like personality.
Oh my god. I was thinking about more of a busy bunny than anything.
Busy bunny.
Like if I imagining myself in those shoes, like if I like had to, I've done a little acting and like playing the same character but like with a radical personality shift. Like there's acting stuff that's hard, Ashley Ball voicing Rainbow Dash in a bad attempt to imitate Applejack instead of just sounding like Applejack. That's hard. This, I don't know if it's hard to do at all. I think the impressive part is that she makes it as fun as she does. But, she really seems to genuinely get into Angel's personality and think about how she can, bring his mannerisms and his, the way he, what's the word? Necessarily the way you slur your words, but his diction, I guess, for example, assuming that all the lines weren't written for her, his tone, all of that. I think she seems like she's really into it in those moments.
Yeah. That was fun.
So yeah. Probably my favorite episode since the Frenemies episode, the first one, where they go up the mountain to retrieve the bell.
Oh, yeah. This is better. I agree with that.
No, I don't think it's better, but I think it's the best one since that.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's one of Nick Confalone's better episodes too. I will say, I guess I would still say that he once again hit kind of his ceiling, because to me, he ranges from bad sometimes. He did write the Yak's first appearance after all, to pretty good, falling a little short of great, and when he's in that mode, it's like you have fun with the episode the whole way through, and then when you get to the end, it's like, okay, was it a great one? I guess not. I didn't, it didn't occur to me while I was watching it, but yeah, I guess that firmly fell short of what a great episode did for me, and you have to go back and think, if you want to know why, you have to go back and think about, where it doesn't hit as hard or where it might have missed his chance, and after thinking about it through this, I think that I would have, this would have hit harder if, besides Angel learning how hard it is to be Fluttershy, that, because, we've gone back and forth on how positive a step this is for him, and I think, actual character development for Angel as well could have worked. And and that's not just something I pulled out of the air either, because okay, they do the switch places plot, that's where they find out how hard it is to be each other. Angel, what we find out about Angel, what's so hard about being Angel, is that he's a bunny. The thing that Fluttershy tries to talk to other ponies and has to...
he's trying to communicate and get Fluttershy's attention.
Yeah, Fluttershy wants to talk to other ponies and has to run from an eagle, two things we've never, ever seen Angel minding. That, he's, for all intents and purposes, he is being a little inconsiderate schmuck the whole time, and then, what they start playing with right before the switch is that he's really looking forward to it being like the good old days a little bit. Fluttershy throwing out a picnic blanket and them having a little picnic, and that for all his jerky qualities, even towards Fluttershy sometimes, he does like really not only appreciates her, he kind of leans on her for a lot. Like, she really does mean a lot to him, even maybe almost a needy relationship, and none of that factors in at all. That like it's not really, yeah. See, I'll make us. I mean, it's kind of a make us feel for Fluttershy episode. It's not much of a make us feel for Angel sort of an episode. Like, you know, heck, we've had those episodes that are comedic, but also by the end, everybody's singing like, "Oh, the relationship between these two characters." Like, Look Before You Sleep. That's a really, really funny episode. But the moment where Rainbow Dash agrees to be Scootaloo's sister at the end, I think that's like among everyone's most treasured moments for both of those characters. Just how good Rainbow is in that moment is like someone to put her wing around Scootaloo and pick her up a little bit, and how Scootaloo, like, everything she goes through in that episode, even while it's hilarious, you still really feel for her. And I mean, in this episode, it doesn't quite hit that hard because, like, while you have a lot of fun with Angel in different moments, I don't think I mean, like, fight me on this if you disagree, and I mean that sincerely, but I don't think they quite make you feel for him the same way. That it comes across like he has his little struggling points or insecurities or anything. Like, they kind of drop that, and they expect it to be equal because Fluttershy had to tire herself out hopping to Zeccora's Impact because basically what's so hard about being Angel is that he's a bunny. So we should feel just as sorry for him.
Well, they also, like, I know they kept rubbing in her face that, like, it wasn't that he's just a bunny, it's hard, which it is hard, him almost getting killed by an eagle, but the other thing was, like, that literally no one else can understand him is, like, the thing they're trying to establish with his route was, like, which was going back to the route was, like, Fluttershy, like, you can sort of do feel for Angel in this episode just because, like, with all this extra work she's taken on, you can see she is starting to ignore Angel more, and which is really hard because, like, this episode kept showing, like, yeah, no one else can understand Angel, so it's like basically he's being isolated by, like, Fluttershy's, like, differing, like, schedules and all that, and, like, she's not really understanding why that's such a big issue for him.
Yeah, and I mean, the not being able to talk to anyone, that's closer to on point for what Angel's troubles are in this episode. But does that really make anyone here feel for him? Because never in the show's history, and not even really in this episode, like only when Fluttershy was in his body, have they portrayed that as something he struggles with or cares about. Like, we never see him when he's himself have to cope with the fact that, like, if he would appreciate somebody else understanding him or talking to him, too bad. It revolved around just him and Fluttershy the whole time. Like, I did not think that was tied in well enough to, like, kick his side of the story up into, okay, yeah, that's special storytelling for this show.
Yeah. The thing is, like, if Fluttershy is the only one that can understand him, then she's really the only one that can solve his problems, because he's the only one that can, or she's the only one that he can tell his problems to.
Yeah, I mean, we just
like
established that, but it's like the
appreciation, like the thing with, like, if you have a job and you have a loved one that you're not having that much time with. I guess, like, he was used to having a lot of time with Fluttershy, and now, like, he has to divide that up with, like, her work and the other animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, think about, this is where I'm saying, like, the way Nick Conflone writes, like, how he ties in how you have to go back and look for where it maybe could have hit harder when it didn't. Yeah, the setup is he's missing Fluttershy now that she has more time on the job. He wishes he could get more of her love and her attention. The payoff is that other ponies can't understand him. I mean, other than, like, paying lip service to it, like, at the end and such, do they tie those two together at all? Like, to the point where you're, like, sitting there like, oh, it's hitting me, I'm feeling how hard this must be, like, how those tie into each other and make this so hard for him. I don't even have to look for it because I'm feeling how hard it must be. I can see it unfolding in front of my eyes.
We feel more for Fluttershy in this case.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We laugh more at Angel, but I mean, like, or at Angel's antics and such, turning into a pony. But I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
like,
I guess I could relate to it a little bit.
Well, I mean, if you can think about it and be like, oh yeah, if that is the idea, which it appears to be, I can picture how I might feel for that. But I mean, storytelling isn't for you, isn't like giving you a couple of points to put together and like, do something with this to, make yourself picture feeling an emotion or go closer to feelings. I mean, it's supposed to have an impact on you. You know, it's like, I mean, you don't, if it's done well, you don't have to dream up this stuff happening to make you feel for it in your head after it's over. You, like, it could, because it's not just disconnected lip service, it's a well-oiled machine that hits you as it's happening, that creates that emotional effect organically.
Yeah, it could have been stronger if it was the fact that I said with Angel actually being a mute bunny and could only communicate in sign languages. Because like then, we would feel even more for him. But I think like that's way.
Well, I mean, disabilities are always a reason to feel for someone, but like it would have had to go out on like such a limb for that, because I mean we're already like the animals that can't speak English, that how that separates them and such, and then we have to set up an entirely new thing within that one animal is mute even for an animal. Like I can follow all dogs go to heaven logic, but that sounds like it's just asking to become confusing or just like to become tedious to follow.
Yeah, and also I'm thinking like about a past episode, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I think Spike or Twilight have understood Angel Bunny before, where he made Fluttershy hair with his bunny ears, and they're like, oh, Fluttershy, there's something wrong with Fluttershy.
I think you're right, yeah.
Well, they can get some general things, but like that's I think because even in this episode they could see something's wrong, but they can't understand.
Okay.
Like
so it's more like they can understand a little bit, but full sentences is a little too hard.
Yeah, it's like just very general gestures.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see that. I get that.
Because we have a Spike, and because this Spike and
just for sidekicks, he was able to understand that.
Yeah.
He got the idea when Angel said, "Hey, look, I'm gonna kick Applejack's seat and reveal you."
And maybe Fluttershy doesn't know the correct movement for Angel. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, because like when they switch, she doesn't know how to do the correct motions that they understand.
Or she's just not as used. Or she's just not as useful not as used to having to sign things, or like what's the word?
Yeah, and it also needed to go fast, and she was stressed, and we all know how things go when you're stressed, and you have to do something. It's not good. But it was nice to see Sakura again, though.
Yeah.
Probably the last time we're gonna see her.
Yeah.
Oh God, no.
I don't think this will be the last time we see her, but this might be the last time we see her. Besides, like the finale episodes are like, here's everyone in the show, sort of thing.
Maybe she will come with a white potion again.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Like it occurred to me that she, we hadn't seen her for a bit, and a character like that who like something a little bit magical about her, and who's been set up as this mysterious visitor with this mysterious knowledge. I'm like, okay, we're due for, if not like a resolution on her. I think a character like that needs some kind of a capstone moment, so I'm hoping she gets something like that in the finale.
Have that
but
with Apple Bloom though in her episode.
She's had nice moments with that, but I mean, I'm talking about something that is suitable to say, okay, that like since as the last time we're ever going to see this character,
I
that's
understand what
a
you're
good
saying.
note to go out on.
Okay.
And yeah,
I mean, if not alternate timeline to Korra from the Chrysalis timeline, definitely
yeah,
works.
that would be amazing.
Yeah, that was pretty fun depiction.
Maybe they have to travel back in time to defeat the T-Rex and Chrysalis and Cosiglo.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just like something with some kind of sense of resolve to it, like which. But I mean, at least she does get one last episode, so it's not like she just faded into the jumble of
the
characters
background characters
who
that
haven't shown up in a bit and never made it back out. I don't know, like we ever see Silver Shill again, for example?
No.
Who's Silver Shill again?
That guy from Lady Gaga episode? No.
Well, apparently there's a shot of him in some Las Pegasus episode where he's
but he
down
Oh, him.
Because we can't, like a bad guy, we can't just say like, well, I can't stop you from being a bad guy, but not in my life. No, we need to show somehow that bad guys always lose. Yeah.
Sven Gallop, I just remembered. Or Flim and Flam,
I mean, Flim and Flam are always comfortable in their.
I mean, the only thing that's left to do with them is to redeem them if they decide to go that route.
Yeah, and I don't think like that. No. They're good.
Well, I mean, it's implied that they've had
evil in this universe.
Oh, I mean, yeah, not all bad people are
evil,
reformed, and I mean, that's one of the things I really respect about Viva Las Pegasus is that, okay, like Applejack was not wrong to go with her gut that I'm not like going to look past that these are two people who have tried to screw over me and those I've cared about and have shown no sign that they're not willing to do that again when I don't even have a plausible reason to think it's a good idea. And then when she did, like, okay, well, since I have to work with them, sure, like, people can change. I'll make the effort to reach out. And then, as people sometimes do, they turn her down. That's how these things very often work. It hits that note perfectly all the way across. I respect it very much. It's still been implied that they are not without their redeeming qualities. So now that we've had that moral, I guess I wouldn't mind so much. But if it's just like, okay, if we see them one more time and the result is that they end up firmly in the gray zone, that like, okay, they're going to scam, but they're also going to be with like hold their whatever redeeming qualities they do have, then like I'd be good with that too. Maybe even better.
Like some background characters that I don't understand, we haven't seen more of is the Pillars.
Yeah. I mean, we have the one episode with Rockoff.
Okay, the thing is though, I guarantee, like Zakora, I'm not sure, but I guarantee the Pillars are going to play a big role in the finale. It's just, it's like Celestia, like Luna. There's like the main six, the student six, like a lot of the big characters. Everyone's like, they're going to play some role. I don't know if they're significant, but they're going to be some big role probably.
I mean.
Zakora is sort of like on the border where it's like Zakora could see playing a role, but not like it's in between. But yeah, the like the old ones are they're going to be I guarantee they'll have a role.
Very likely, if they don't, or if it's just a throwaway thing, it would not be the first time that the fan base has been like, oh no, you can't criticize that because because the writers are smart and they know to follow up on that, to continue that in an episode down the line, and then that never comes, and then, because surprise, surprise, it really was just a shortcut or a we don't care sort of a decision. So I mean, I'm like hopeful for the Pillars going back and getting some kind of resolve there. I don't think we're guaranteed anything by this point.
No.
Although the Pillars themselves, like that, I mean, I think what's been rough in the latter half of the show with so many revolving showrunners and such is that you don't have that overarching vision to draw from. You kind of have to make up your own, and we've seen writers attempt to make up their own about a bunch of different times, and I think nowhere more did that show than season 7, which I thought was a noble attempt to kind of refocus the lore and really make it feel like we were going somewhere, make the world feel big again, and then season 8 threw that right out the window for a friendship school.
Yeah, that's true. But something I actually also do like in this episode is the different kind of animals. I know, like, we have seen different kind of animals before, but yeah, I just like to see, like, elephant. What more new? Wolf.
The elephant was cute.
A wolf. The wolf was
yeah.
cute. What the wolf is? Just kidding.
I thought you already had that.
Yeah, I have a wolf plushie.
All right, that actually reminds me of another comment someone else made is, for the first time in the show, we have a non-timber wolf design in the show.
Yeah, it was cute. But I think, like, we've seen the snake before, we've seen the giraffe before. I'm not sure about the elephant. But I could be wrong.
I don't remember
and
seeing an elephant.
The fire
Unless it was,
gecko
like,
is
in
of
the
course
background.
new, and
Fluttershy leans
what
in.
more animals did we have that was important?
Harry the bear.
Well, we've seen him before.
Okay, it's just new ones.
Yeah, new ones.
It might be.
That's
there.
it. Yeah.
Important ones anyway.
I'm sorry.
Shit.
And also seeing, like, that our background pony, I don't know what she's called, but the nurse for the animals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in an animal sanctuary episode, it really makes sense she would show up because she was kind of a central part of that.
Yeah. And that's it for me, though. I think it was okay.
Everybody's reluctant to go with my critique there, my main critique there, and yet it's sounding like I may or may not be the most positive one on this episode.
I think it's really good too. It's just like, I like the one better.
What?
The other episode where they're switching.
What royal problem?
Yeah, because I think, like, that's more, I like the seriousness of that episode. I like this one too. I do understand it's necessary. It's just like,
right.
It's
What's
more
serious? Everybody in that episode is a doof.
Like, if it, well, that's your opinion.
This is big, like really big. Like I made myself enjoy big spinning doll. Isn't that cute and fan servicey? And this is big, like, and you forgot your toothbrush, and like really big. What?
It's fine. But yeah, I thought it was mean. But never mind. I'm fine with it. I just did what you did.
You were talking about the seriousness of how you run a problem
like,
and how you thought that trumps this one.
Yeah, I just think, like, it's more my cup of tea, or how to say that. I do like this. I actually think, like, this is one of my favorite Fluttershy episodes, actually, and she's my least favorite, as you know. So there is some potential in it, but I think, like, what could make it more serious for me is, again, making the notion that he was having a disability, or he, like, there was something else wrong, that maybe Angel was not as magical as the other animals or something. So that was why they couldn't understand him. I don't know. I just feel like you feel with when we see it from Angel, when we see it from when Angel becomes Fluttershy or vice versa, and we just see her running to Sakura's, and she becomes, like, tired really fast and, like, get hunted by eagles and stuff like that. He doesn't have to think about that when he's with Fluttershy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's encouraged predators to chase him all over the place, and he's fine. So, like, the eagle is the last thing we're gonna feel for, because that's just not something Angel,
like,
we've never seen Angel struggles with.
Try to
I mean, you can do in theory all you want. You have to actually establish it on screen, make us, or even if it's
a little more.
Hint at, you have to do something to make us feel it. You can't just, like, after the fact be like, well, but wouldn't logic dictate that it's kind of like that? It's like, okay, but you didn't do that in episode. That took the time to write that in with skill should.
Yeah, I was coming to
likely
my
get more
point.
critical.
Like, I feel more for the other episode. I feel like that's more explained, or like we feel for both sides there, for both Sebastian and Chris, or in my case. So that's it.
Well, I guess one thing in a nutshell for why I'd prefer this one like that. I don't feel much for either of them. I feel like that episode, like everything it does is trying to be like stuff it's seen other shows and other stories do. Yeah, Celestia needs to be more quote unquote
But
relatable.
this is also like
the
Friday or
the,
any other body switching
well, I
episode
mean, like
that
so
there is.
that's
So
the
what's your
gimmick.
point?
That's not the nuance of what it does with the characters. That does bring Starlight in on an important mission because fan service. See a new character doing that. See
It's true that
Twilight,
we don't
it's
have
like
that many movies where a person switches body with an animal, but there is.
we have Forever and a Day of episodes and movies and stuff on that, but that's not my point. Those episodes do things with the characters, make alterations to the characters because it thinks people would go for it being more like other stories that they've said they'd like. This episode gives us something that none of us knew we wanted from this character because it fits so well in line with something that makes use of what we've already seen him do, and it doesn't feel like it's straining to imitate other things. It feels effortless. It feels like this is something that came up entirely because it fits the characters and their dynamics so well.
But I don't think like he's redeemed yet.
Well, I didn't say that.
So.
I don't know. It's probably as close as he's gonna get that he learns to.
Yeah, it's probably like it's a good baby step in the right direction. Haha, see what I did there?
No. Baby step in the right direction. What is that?
Like Fluttershy had to take baby steps to come out of her shell. Now Angel Bunny is trying to take steps to communicate with other animals.
I do see what you did there. You made a vague illusion.
Yay! Ta-da!
Ta-da!
But yeah, that's it for me.
Alright. Any other final thoughts on this episode?
Nah, not really.
Oh.
Except I will point out, you know when Angel first switches bodies with Fluttershy, he has trouble, with his stance, like walking around as a pony, but he has no trouble talking. Like he's friggin' spouting out like tongue twisters like it's nothing.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Oh, the logic of how language works in this world. Fluttershy can understand animals.
Oh, so you think it's a kind of magic?
Well, I mean,
it's
got it. Well, actually, they did say it's Fluttershy's special talent that allows it, and I think some episode establishes that she loses
but
that if
she didn't take
drained.
her like the stare. Angel Bunny didn't get the stare.
Yeah, but I mean, like.
So why should he get the ability to talk?
That can be more of a mental power, but I mean, it's like I don't know the way language works in this world. It seems like the animals can't speak it and yet can understand it. I don't know. It seems like it almost seems like it really is determined by what you are a little bit.
It would have made more sense if Angel Bunny as Fluttershy went back to the animals and the animals wouldn't understand Angel Bunny no more, because like her abilities, for example, the stare or being able to communicate with animals is something like that should be swapped
like
too.
She can understand them. That's her special power. There's never been anything about how they can't understand the other way around. That I think that like animals have seen them nod in agreement to stuff like that to characters.
Okay. Yes, but not to Angel Bunny though.
So.
Well, and they're switching bodies, and she still has her stare.
Yeah, actually, there has to be some kind of inconsistency there. But that's what I'm saying. Like internal inconsistency that in the long run is kind of to anything. Like don't let that distract too much from.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying if you want to be really technical about it, then Angel Bunny as Fluttershy should have the stare and the ability to communicate with animals. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If we're
it's
really,
one of those,
really technical.
if you're really technical, but yeah, I mean, on
Yes.
some level, that is one of those things like, okay, well, it's something that can't happen in the first place, ergo, the show does kind of hold the stake on making up how it works.
Because, like, I think the way that Fluttershy in Angel Bunny's, the body could constrain Angel Body turned into Fluttershy without the stare was doing the bunny, the innocent angel bunny look.
I guess my rule of thumb on that is like if the appeal of it is the internal consistency, the show story, whatever, is getting into explaining how it works and you're supposed to be fascinated by the rules and how they work off each other, then okay, that you are supposed to care about because that is the point. If the thing it's reveling in is just the absurdity, it's not trying to explain it, it's just trying to show you the comedy of it happening, how it's decided it should happen, then okay, that's where I'm like, internal consistency, even if you can make it a math problem and find some point where X does not equal Y, then why would you though? Like, why is that something that, I mean, that's not what the episode is trying to sell you on, whether X equals Y, it's trying to sell you on whether this is fun and enjoyable and funny and whatever else.
And the moral is like you should learn to walk in I think like this moral is a little bit too much as well. There's too many.
I get, and that's right. I mean, it's kind of what I said before, but I get how that applies to Angel Bunny and Fluttershy. I don't really get how that applies to Fluttershy got worn out from a trip to Zeccora's and back. Ergo, it's so hard being a bunny, and she should appreciate what he goes through too.
I don't buy that.
You can pick strands of it,
it could
what
also
about
be
not communicating to ponies, but it doesn't do the work to make you feel for that.
Well, a little bit, because he was so excited he could talk with anybody that he wanted. And
well, I mean, that's almost like Angel, the selfishness of Angel, ooh, I've got a new toy now.
Yeah, that's true. I think you're right. Yeah.
Well, or at least it could, it's one of those things there, but I mean, I feel like it's in the comfort alone for as much as he tends to when he gets stuff right, he gets them right, but even then it's there's some aspect that flies by him because I mean I don't know, he only really revels in, he lets that one thing that he's picked up take up all of his focus and just reveling in that. I mean, I think all of his episodes all the way back, I've been his writing, and he always lets it turn out a little shoddy in it. But I mean, and I'd rather that than what do you call that, seamless, boringly mediocre writer. I'd rather that any day. I'd take him over to set out if Applejack's Day Off Princess guy, but I feel like M.A. Larson was at his best was a little better at bringing the enthusiasm full force and making it all fit together and really knock you off your feet, like Sonic Rainbow, for example.
All right, I guess with that said, Carlos, you have any other final thoughts?
B+ episode, still a credit to this season, I think. One of the better ones.
I actually think I could go with that as well. Just a B for me, though. Just B.
All right. What were you saying, Carlos?
I was going to say was this episode for me, final thoughts. It was definitely a quaint episode, showcasing
Hello.
I think I had to mute it. But I'll get my final thoughts while you wait for him to come back. Yeah, like overall, to say for me, I would say it's a very quaint, like just fun episode. Actually gets some nice resolution to Angel Bunny's, like sort of a nice end point for Angel Bunny, I feel. Um, and overall, I'd say it's probably a B plus or A minus episode for me,
Okay.
somewhere right in between there.
Yeah. Sounds reasonable.
Okay.
I think like that was what Gator said as well. It was really quaint episode, like this small good slice of Fluttershy, I guess.
So does that put DC as this episode's biggest fan and me in second? No pun intended.
No, I think like you're still up there with.
Well, I said B plus. He said B plus A minus.
Like I think like you're on the same then, and then me, and then maybe Alex, and then Jenn.
I mean, like, correct me if I'm wrong, DC, but it sounds like the difference is that, okay, you like everything else as much as I do, and you think the Angel Bunny thing works a little better than I do?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So it was
there it is.
It was good for you. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I'm still on a B with no pluses or minuses.
I mean, like, I will say, when an episode like this comes along, assuming we're still waiting for Carlos, like, when an episode like this comes along, it makes you think, like, see, why weren't we doing more stuff like this with the character the whole time?
Yeah,
makes you suddenly,
I agree with.
Miss diving into some of the stuff that, like, how earlier episodes had fun with the character in a way that a lot of the other ones haven't in a while. Like, I mean, heck, Angel Bunny, he made a lot of people mad and like putting your hoof down and stuff like that. But just even his thought process and mannerisms and just habits, like like how he would rush Fluttershy out the door when she was late for a very important date and putting your hoof down, or how he would indicate that something in the air is making him cough. She's like trying to guess. You have a cold. Oh, there's a giant dark cloud above Ponyville.
Yes. You were saying something about me, second?
Oh, I was saying,
what your final thoughts are?
Yeah, it's definitely like a worthwhile episode to watch, or like a classic Fluttershy development. Like if you miss like a scene like not just like sassy Shy, but like normal Fluttershy developing her relationships with like her animals, even when they get more complicated with like the new developments in her life. This episode certainly feels like a nice tail end for her story.
Huh. Okay. Actually, is Angel a boy or a girl bunny?
Boy.
Supposed to be a boy bunny, yeah.
Why didn't he get a boy voice then when she's...
She has vocal cords when he's in her body.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Can you imagine a Flutter guy again, but this time
no, Flutter boy.
Flutter boy, says whatever a Flutter boy says.
Alright.
I'm sorry,
yeah. But I guess with that said, see y'all next week.
Yeah.